So what I want to talk about how is that your genes are made up of the genes of your mother and your grandmother, your father and your grandfather, but particularly your mother. Now I'm talking about it since it's Mother's Day, but also because like when I did self-realization of a goddess, we talked about how, hey Tora, we talked about how inside the womb there's okay, like there's your grandmother, and then there's your mother, and then inside your mother there's the seed, which is you. So before you were even born, you were inside your mother, who was inside your grandmother. So really there were like 3 generations inside one body. Okay, so that's how we can know that things are really passed down generationally way before you are born. Way before you are born, you have things in your genetics and things in your vibration that's being created while you were inside your grandmother, like way before you got here. Okay, so now when we think about genetics, we need to look at it from the perspective of energy, and that is also what the serpent is. The serpent represents energy because of, the way that it moves, right? It moves like that up and down thing. Missed 3 minutes. That's okay. You didn't miss much, Santisha. So the serpent represents energy. Now, if you look at the word parents, parents, it's also serpent. That's how we can know that your parents literally represents that kundalini, that sexual energy, those 2 masculine and feminine serpents going around a pole. They represent that. So that's what parents are. Parents are the energy that's in the kundalini. All right. In the word parents is also the word pattern. That's also how we can know. I'm just giving some background because I'm going to actually do mine. I'm going to do my name, my grandmother's name, and my daughter's name. Okay. But I'm just giving you some background on how we can really know that things are passed down in your genetics. Now, of course, we can look at it scientifically, but it's dead in the words too. If you look at the word parent, it's also the word pattern. Exactly, Tora. Thank you. Also the word kin, which kin means like race or what kind of thing it is or whatever. Well, the word kin, I made a post where I said this. The word kin is also the word ink. Now, ink is really your blood. Ink is your blood. That's why your whole story is really made up of what's in your blood, what's in your thought patterns, what's in your vibration. That's your story. That's the ink. Okay? And your thoughts are putting impressions on that ink, which is what's creating the genetics and which is your story. You know how we talk about, I'm looking over here because I got notes over here. But you know how we talk about, a family tree? Well, that's also what the tree of life is. The tree of life is a family tree. It's still all talking about genetics. The first book of the Bible is called Genesis. I say this all the time. I don't see how people miss it. Like it's dead smack in your face. The first book of the Bible is called Genesis. So therefore, the tree of life is probably about genetics. Okay, so it's about the family tree. Things being passed down via genetics. So you have ideas, beliefs, fears, and thought patterns that has been passed down to you via genetics before you were born. It's passed down generation to generation. That's why you hear people talk about, when they're very religious, they talk about, things that their grandmother taught them. And my grandmother said this, that, and the other. Yeah, because you're still holding on to those old genetics that's in your thought patterns. That's not to say whether she's right or wrong. I'm just saying you're holding on to those thought patterns, and that doesn't mean that it's good for you. Well, everything is good for you there, but that doesn't mean you're going to create lessons for yourself if you don't evaluate those thought patterns that's being passed down to you. All right, so let's get into my name. I'm going to start with my grandmother's name. My grandmother's name on my mother's side. Okay, I'm always right now focusing on the mother's side because, like I said, that's that 3 and 1. I don't know about the father's side if they doing 3 and 1, but I know for sure that the mother's side is 3 and 1. So my grandmother's name is Jean McDowell. Generational curses. Yes, exactly. Right, and exactly. So there's cures in there. The same thing that occurs you, it can cure you. That's why you have to go in and deal with those curses that's being passed down, because you can cure yourself. So my grandmother's name is Jean McDowell. I'm sorry. That's her married name. I'm looking at her what do you call it? Her maiden name. I like to look at maiden names, because that's the name that you were given in the womb, and then your vibration change when you get married, or when you take on a man's name. So Jean Borden is my grandmother's name. Obviously, we're looking at the word Jean, right? Gene, Jean. So let me say what I have here. Borden is relative to I'm starting with her last name. Borden is relative to the word burden. If you look up the etymology of the word burden, you will see that it was also spelled like Borden. And so a burden is a lien. That tells me right there, this name has to do with relieving karma and debt. Okay? So her name is about Borden, or is about burden. Now her first name is Jean. So that tells me right there, her name says there's a burden in your genes. There's a lien on you. There's a lien on you. Okay? Now, what was the lien? Well, Jean also sounds like John. If you look up the etymology of Jean, it's going to tell you that it's related to John. And John means to forgive. John means grace, which grace is to forgive, to have mercy. I don't know, Santisha. It takes a lot of energy for me to do that. I might. But Jean is John, and John is mercy. So that means that her karmic debt would be completed if she learned to have mercy, if she learned to have compassion, if she learned to have forgiveness. So that's what I'm looking at when I'm looking at your name. I'm looking at, what do I see in it that's going to help you learn help you learn what you needed to learn in this life. Now, if you miss the aim, or you miss the mark, or you miss the goal, then you're in sin. And you become a debtor, and you're in debt, and you have a lien on you, and you're blocking your heart chakra, which has a lot to do with your money, which has a lot to do with your freedom. Okay. Now, that's her first name. Now, also in that word, the word gene itself, Gene, is also the word again. Egen is again. So that's how we know that genes come back around. That genes continuously generate and come back around. If you did, that's why it doesn't make sense to ignore your triggers, because now you're passing them on to your children. As a matter of fact, you're teaching your children to avoid their triggers. So that's why gene means to do it again, because the shit just going to keep repeating until somebody learns the lesson. Okay, so that means that her lesson may have also been, let's see, how did I write it in here? How to realize that what you put out comes back, because that name has to do with returns. Now, the word Borden is the letter B is, whenever you see a B, especially on the front of a word, it's I am. Okay. So Borden also looks like I am ordained. Ordain, I am ordained. Which means that she will be rewarded if she completed her karmic lesson. Now, ordain means to appoint or admit to the ministry of the church, or to set something that will continue in a certain order. So that tells you right there that if she would have completed her karmic lesson, that she will be putting some, I don't know whether she did or not. So, I mean, I don't know. But what I'm saying is, if she would have completed her karmic lesson, that's setting something in order of what comes next. What comes next? So remember, her karmic lesson had to do with forgiveness and mercy. Which that's a lot of us. A lot of us have the same lessons because underneath all this shit, it's the same basic shit. It's forgiveness. It's facing the darkness. It's learning to not lie to yourself. It's understanding, the metaphysics of darkness and light. Like a lot of us have the same lessons. We in the same classroom. We just in different levels of it. Okay. So anyway, that's her first name. Okay. Now, that's her name. And then also in your report, if you decide to get this interpretation done, I'm doing it. I'm creating a whole new interpretation. So it's going to be broken down into segments, which says, what does your first name mean? What does your middle name mean? What does your last name mean? What is the possible life lessons for you? What am I suggesting that you do in order to apply these things that's in your name? I broke it down like that. I do it like that now, but I'm actually breaking it into segments the way I'm doing it now. Like I'm actually writing suggested action, possible life lesson, whatever, like that. I'm going to put a sample of it on my website. Okay, so now my mother's name, that was my grandmother's name, Jean Borden. Now she got married, and so that changed her vibration, or that changed the vibration of her children as well. Her last name changed to McDowell. That's my last name. So her getting married changed her last name to McDowell. So it changed her vibration. It changed her children's vibration, which was necessary because it changed the vibration to, well, let's look at my mom's last name. My mother's last name is Kim McDowell. So it changed from Jean Borden to Kim McDowell. Now, Kim has the word I am right in it. And K, I almost always interpret the letter K as key. Even if I didn't, Kim still has that key sound in it. So Kim is I am key. Okay? Now, key means multiple things. It really depends on what you're how you look at it. But I'm always looking for patterns. That's okay, Diana. You can go back and watch it later. But I'm always looking for patterns. So, I might. That's why when I look at two people that have the same name, I might not see the same thing because I'm going for patterns. So in Kim, I interpreted key to mean sound. Not a key that opens a door, even though it could be, but I interpreted the key to mean sound. Okay? And the reason why is because the McDowell on the end is, I know that's MC, which really is to speak, talk. You see how I put that pattern together between a key being sound and the MC meaning to speak? So Kim McDowell, her first name is I am key, or I am sound, I am vibration. And her last name is to do well at speaking. So her name means the same thing. Now, again, I'm looking for patterns and I'm looking between different names. The name McDowell, it's an Irish name. I know. Do I look Irish? Do I look Irish to you? That's a whole nother subject though. Anyway. The word McDowell actually means the son of a dark stranger. The son of a dark stranger, which means that McDowell has to do with darkness. McDowell has to do with darkness. Now, Kim also has to do with darkness. Kim is, that's also Mike. That's also how you know it has to do with speaking because it's literally mic like a microphone. But Kim is also the sound Kim, which means dark, like as in Kemet. But it really does mean black or dark in the Hebrew language. So that whole name has to do with darkness from beginning to end. Kim means darkness, to McDowell means the son of a dark stranger. That whole name has to do with darkness, which means that her lesson had to do with facing what's in the dark. It had to. Particularly, it also had to do with being able to hear because it has to do with sound. So probably would have to do with being able to hear what's in the dark, which is your own subconscious. So being able to hear what's in the dark is being able to Go into the dark and face yourself. Face the truth that's in your darkness. So what happened was when the vibration changed from Borden to McDowell. Oh, this is what I forgot to say. The Borden also has the word bored in it. And bored means to be dull. Bored pretty much means to be stupid. And it's blatantly in there. Now, am I going to sit here and call my grandmother stupid? I mean, it depends on how you look at the word stupid. But how I interpret it is that you're stupid if you're not looking at yourself. You're stupid. You're dull. You're dense. You're in a very surface level. That's to be dumb. That's to be dumb means not be able to speak. But you get what I'm saying. Like that means that my grandmother Jean Borden, she may have been very dull. Now, this is why I say that when I do people name interpretation, I'm not holding back. Yes, I might call you stupid in your name interpretation, but I'm not calling you stupid. Your name, look up the word. It's going to tell you that that's what it means. Like, I'm not calling you stupid. Your name is saying it. Like vision boards. What you talking about, Tora? What are you talking about? Vision board. Oh, with the being very much on the surface. Exactly. So that means that if my grandmother had it in her name that like she wasn't going deep enough into herself, that would make sense that the next name, McDowell, will be all about facing darkness. Right? About not being dull. Not being so on the surface, going to a deeper level. Okay? So then the story continues and I'm born. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do my daughter's name too. So I'm gonna do 4 generations. My grandmother, my mother, me, and my daughter. I'm showing you how it evolved and changed over the generations about what each karmic lesson had. So then you get to me, right? My name is Kamisha. So really, I got my mom's exact name. Just to let y'all know, that's not a boogie in my nose. That's my nose ring. They had to make it long until it actually heals. Okay? Anyway. So my name is Dull Vision. Yes, they are dull. So my name is Kamisha. Now, I have the same name that my mother has, except for I have fire in my name. Now, mind you, I just said my mother's name, Kim McDowell. That shit is all darkness. Now, darkness and light has a double fold meaning, because darkness could either mean that ignorance or darkness, or it could mean all-knowing darkness, because darkness is where everything is open and everything is there. Everything's just out in the open. So darkness is all-knowing, or darkness is ignorance. Just like light is to be ignorant by being blinded on the outside of you, or light is to be intelligent, enlightened. Okay, so this is duality, though. This is why a lot of people get confused about duality and what darkness is and what light is, because they have double meanings. But anyway, my mother's name, fully all about darkness, and then she added Isha onto my name. Well, Isha means fire. So she added light to my name. So light came into my name. That's what changed the vibration. So for me, I interpret it anyway as when light, came into my name, that means that passion had to be created, because fire comes by way of passion. So passion had to be created within me in order to go into that same darkness that my mother was supposed to go into. Okay? So I needed that light that she added onto my name in order to evolve. So I'm not going to get totally into my name, because I done broke my name down 10,000 times. But my name means to do well in language, which is exactly what I'm here to do. Like I know my precise exact purpose. And your son is in the 8th house, the house of darkness. Wow. I love when that happens, Tora. Your south node is there too. Says it has passed down to you from your mom. Shut up, Tora. Shut up. That's crazy. That is crazy. So yeah, look at that. Confirmation. Thank you. I love when that happens. Isha means fire in the Hebrew language, Santisha. So there you go. That's part of your name right there. What would chant mean? Oh, that's chant. Chant is chant. Shantisha, chant. Chant is, look up the etymology of chant, but it's to do with singing, sound, vibration. So that means that you should be vibrating your fire. That means you should be learning about passion and how to like room, like really rev it up and vibrate it. Okay? So there you go. You got a real quick name interpretation. Now, when I do it, it'd be way longer than that. It'd be like 3 pages long. All right, so that's my name. Now, my daughter's name, I'm going to show you how, because I feel like I'm completing my karmic lesson. My daughter's name turned into money. Because my daughter's name is Kamina. And Mina is money. Kamina. Now, I kept that darkness on the front of there. Her name is Kamina. Her name is Kamina Williams. She took on, or I gave her father's name. So that means that whatever reason in my subconscious, or my daughter told me to name her that or whatever, because I believe that our parents tell us somehow, some way what to name us. I gave her father's name, which changed her vibration. So her name is Kamina Williams. So her vibration and her lesson changed to I am will. So that means she's here to learn about what will is, about how to control your thoughts. I had to go into the darkness first, though. Me and my mom had to go into the darkness. But first, my grandmother she was stupid, right? She was dull. And then my mother had to deal with her darkness, which got passed down to me, which she probably didn't face it, but she gave me light. And so then I started waking up. She gave me light and passion, and then I passed that down to Kamina, my daughter. And Kamina got will. And Kamina got money. Kamina is money. Now, that she still has that can part on the front of it. Yup, to her will I am. She still has that can part on the front of her name. So that can, we still talk about darkness. We still talking about facing your darkness. I talked to my daughter about that the other day. What's interesting is that the last 2 guys that she dated, every time she's starting to date some new guy, which she just broke up with her last boyfriend. But every time she started dating some new guy, Mom, can you, what do his name mean? Like, she wouldn't know what everybody's name mean, right? But it's funny because the one guy name was Avery, which has that Eve sound on the front of it, which is darkness. Then the next guy name was Everard. Still has that Eve same name sound on it, which is still darkness. So I told her, these men are coming into your life to help you face that, which has to do with courage. So her life lesson has to do with courage, and it has to do with her will. And it has to do with generating money. Okay? So I just broke down my grandmother's name. Very, very loosely, I broke them down. But generally speaking, that's what you'll be getting in a report. Now, right now, I'm only doing you and your mom. But like I said, this is going to be something I'm going to start offering more. I'm just putting it out there now. But I will do your grandmother, your mother, your grandmother. Yeah, your grandmother, your mother, and your mother. Like however many generations you want me to do. Now, the price is going to go up, of course. Because you're getting a written name interpretation. So this is something that you could take with you forever. Okay? Now, I'm trying to see if I got anything else written in here that I wanted to say. Because I don't think so. Your mom gave you light and you gave your daughter money. This is the precise process of manifestation. Wow. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. And she is a Taurus. Yes, she is all about money. Isn't that so decent how that all works out? This is how you know that astrology and words. See, that's why it's called astrology, because astrology is logos. Astrology has the word logos right on there, which logos means words. A logo or logi, or alogy means the science of, but logos means words. That's how you know that astrology and words go together like this. Okay, astrology and words. Have you ever heard of Santos Banaki? I always tell people to go look him up. He is like a master of both words and astrology. He is a beast at that shit, and he knows how to marry those two things together. Then the reason why astrology is tied to words is because you are literally made up of words. This is something that I taught in Self-Realization of a Goddess. You and your mom is $100. That's right, Shantisha. So yeah, you are literally made up of words. You are made up of symbology. You are made up of symbiology. Genetics are words. It's a letter. So in your name interpretation, you can ask anybody that I ever did their name. At the end of it, I always put something like, this is what your name would say in the form of a letter. You and I have the same job. Well, Torah, both of our name means Torah. Our name mean the same thing. So yes, we have the same job. Absolutely. You do the astrology part and I do the name and I do the words. So you could do my grandmother, my mom, me, my daughter. Girl, I don't know. Diana, you asking me how much that is? I really don't know right now. Like I said, right now, somebody asked me for a quote for that. Diana, I'll send you an email, okay? Also, I'm trying to figure out if you have already gotten your name done from me. I'm going to offer some type of discount because, of course, I did your name already. Now, if I did your name like back in 2015, can't do it because I can't find nothing that I wrote in 2015. Like I can't find none of the name interpretations. And also, I've learned a lot since then. I mean, that was 3 years ago. So what I see in your name now, it could be different than. That doesn't mean that the meaning changed. It just means that I might see more. Okay. So, but Diana, I'll email you. Okay. So I think I'm pretty much done here. If y'all don't have any other questions, concerns, let me put my plug in for Self-Realization of a Goddess real quick. If you are in the Chicago, Charlotte, Houston, where else are we going? Chicago. Where else are we going? I know we're going to 4 other places. Chicago, Charlotte, Houston. Oh, maybe that was it. Anyway, if you're in any of them places, come see me at Self-Realization of a Goddess. Part of Self-Realization of a Goddess is learning about words. Is learning about how you are made up of words. That is part of the class. And a lot of it, part of the class has to do with why the feminine or the right side of the brain or the feminine energy is directly tied to words, because it opens up that right side of your brain to be able to look at letters and move them around like a magician and see what it really says. Okay. And some people might ask me, well, that's only in the English language. Okay. Well, the English language is made up of every other language. So that's why that's the very reason why I can go into, Arcana, you're not coming to Self-Realization of a Goddess in Chicago? You're not coming to see me? I have coupons. You can come on. You can get a $40 coupon if you're interested. Let me know. So yeah. Anyway, y'all, I got stuff I need to do. I need to get off here. I'm working on my website, changing a lot of things. So I just wanted to let y'all know what I was doing. And if you're interested in that Mother's Day special, go on my website, blackfirenation.com, and look for Mother's Day special. I'll put the link in the comments. All right, Arcana. I hope to see you there. All right, y'all. Peace.